was broke. No gigs, no help from home. So when a friend told me a wealthy couple was offering double rates for a babysitter on weekends, I said yes without thinking twice. Their house was huge, almost too quiet. The parents seemed kind but off. The mom smiled too much. The dad never made eye contact. They gave me a thick manual of house rules, super weird stuff like don't talk to Max about the mirror and always shut his closet before 9 p.m. I laughed it off. But Max was the weirdest part. 5 years old, sweet, but too quiet. He didn't play, didn't laugh. First time I met him, he looked at me and said, "Do they see you too?" I said, "Who?" He pointed at the corner of the room and whispered, "They live in the shadows. They like new people." I thought he was just creepy. That night, I heard him talking in his room. I peeked in. He was sitting straight up in bed, talking to the corner. He said, "No, you can't hurt her yet. She's still nice." And then, he turned and looked directly at me. I swear to God, I hadn't made a sound. For the full part check, the pin comment. The next day, things were off. I left Max's favorite dinosaur toy on the shelf. When I came back 5 minutes later, it was in the hallway. Thought he moved it, but he was asleep on the couch. I checked the hallway camera footage. It showed nothing, until the toy just dropped onto the floor. No one touched it. That night, I heard whispers. Not from Max's room, from the walls. Then I found an old drawing under Max's bed. It showed a tall shadow figure, standing behind someone who looked exactly like me. I told the parents I wanted to quit. The dad smiled and said, "It's not up to us. You're already inside." I laughed nervously, thinking it was just a creepy joke. But when I left that night, I ended up back at the house. Every road I took, every turn, somehow led me right back to their driveway. For the full part check, the pin comment. I had to figure out what was happening, so I explored the attic. That's where I found a wooden chest. Inside was a leather-bound journal labeled, Kayla, Sitter number 6. The pages were shaky, like they were written in fear. "Don't let him draw. The girl in the mirror lies. Close the closet. Always. Or she gets curious." Kayla wrote about things I'd started noticing too. Toys moving, shadows watching, time looping. I heard scratching. Rushed downstairs. Max was drawing again. A woman with long arms, black hair, and red eyes. He looked up and said, "She's almost finished. She wants to meet you." The drawing blinked. I swear to God, the paper blinked at me. For the full part check, the pin comment. I remember the journal said, "Never look in the mirror after midnight." So of course I did. At 12:03, I stood in the bathroom. My reflection didn't copy me. It stood still, stared with a crooked smile. Then it waved. Behind it, something stepped out. I turned around, nothing there. But when I turned back, my reflection was gone. That night, mirrors became traps. Every screen, shiny surface, my reflection wasn't me anymore. I confronted Max. He looked so scared. He said, "She's mad. You look too soon. Now she's stuck with you." The lights flickered. Max screamed, "Hide," and pointed at the closet. From behind me, I heard a woman's voice say, "Don't hide. I already see you." For the full part check, the pin comment. I wanted to run, but the house wouldn't let me. Door stayed locked. Phone died. The shadows were moving now. I followed a trail of handprints to Max's room. Inside his closet, I found a crawl space. At the end, a photo of all the babysitters who came before me. 11 of them, all smiling, except their eyes were scratched out. I turned the photo over. It said, "Sita no muteken tol," still watching. Suddenly, I wasn't alone. A woman in black stood behind Max Pale, long fingers on his shoulder. She whispered, "Leave now, and he replaces you." I stood frozen. I couldn't let her take him. I stepped forward and said, "Take me instead." The woman smiled and vanished. Next morning, the parents came home. Much was schmoiding, but when I looked in a hallway mirror, I had no reflection. For the full part check, the pin comment.